Step back in time with us, not just hundreds or thousands, but millions of years. Imagine a world untouched, wild, and challenging. This is the dawn of humanity. On the vast plains of Africa, a new kind of being was taking its first steps. These were our earliest ancestors, the pioneers of a journey that would eventually lead to us. They weren't kings or conquerors in the way we think of them now. But their survival, their ingenuity, and their sheer will to live would lay the foundation. This is the story of the first humans. Life was a constant struggle, a daily dance between survival and peril. Every sunrise brought new challenges. The world was a larder, but also a labyrinth of dangers. Imagine a small group moving cautiously through tall grasses, their eyes scanning the horizon. Their mission, to find food. This could mean hunting the colossal mammoths and woolly rhinos that roamed the land. It wasn't a battle of brute force. It was a contest of wits. They used strategy, using the terrain to their advantage and wielding spears tipped with sharpened stone. A successful hunt meant more than just a meal. It meant survival for the entire group for weeks. It meant hides for warmth and bones for tools. But hunting was risky and often unpredictable. The true backbone of their diet was the patient, methodical work of gathering. The women and children, with their deep knowledge of the local environment, were the true providers. They knew which plants were nourishing, which berries were sweet, and which roots were edible. They could distinguish life-saving herbs from their poisonous lookalikes. This was a science passed down. This balance between the hunt and the harvest was the rhythm of their lives, a testament to their adaptability. And what made all of this possible? The tools they held in their hands. The Stone Age wasn't just a name, it was a revolution. Imagine the focus in their eyes. Flint, obsidian, quartzite. These were the raw materials of their technology. With skillful, practiced strikes, they could flake off sharp edges. A hand axe wasn't just a rock. It was Each tool was a masterpiece of function, perfectly shaped for its purpose. This was humanity's first great technological leap. The moment we began to shape the world to our will, rather than just being shaped by it. The sound of stone striking stone was the sound of progress. Then came a discovery that would change everything. A force of nature that they learned to tame. Fire, at first. It was a terrifying spectacle. A wildfire raging across the savannah. But fear gave way to curiosity, and curiosity to control. Picture a lone figure, cautiously approaching a smoldering branch, carrying it back to the cave like a precious jewel. Learning to create fire at will, perhaps by striking sparks from flint or rubbing sticks together, was a moment of pure genius. It was a quantum leap for humankind. Suddenly, the night was no longer absolute darkness. A roaring fire kept the saber-toothed cats and cave bears at bay. The cave, once just a cold shelter, became a warm, inviting home. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the walls, creating a central point for the community to gather. Fire also transformed their food. Cooking meat not only made it easier to chew and digest, but also killed harmful bacteria, unlocking more nutrients and improving their health. It was a shield, a furnace, and a kitchen all in one. The control of fire was arguably the single most important discovery in human history, allowing our ancestors to not just survive the cold nights, but to thrive and expand into new, colder territories. These early humans were not solitary wanderers. They were social creatures, bound together by ties of kinship. They lived in small, mobile groups, often referred to as bands or tribes. Cooperation was the key to their success. The hunters who brought down a mammoth didn't feast alone. They shared the prize with everyone. The gatherers who found a patch of ripe berries brought them back for the old, the young, and the infirm. This system of sharing and mutual support was their social safety net. It ensured that the group as a whole was stronger and more resilient than any individual could ever be. Within the tribe, everyone had a role. Elders were the living libraries of the community, their minds holding vast stores of knowledge about hunting grounds, weather patterns, and tribal histories. The strongest adults took on the dangerous tasks of hunting, while others focused on toolmaking, childcare, and preparing food. It was a complex social web, held together by shared language, rituals, and a sense of collective identity. We can see the first hints of culture. Perhaps they told stories around the campfire, sang songs, or created simple forms of art on cave walls. They mourned their dead, sometimes burying them with care, suggesting the beginnings of spiritual belief and an understanding of a world beyond the physical. They were not just surviving, they were building the first human societies. So, as we look back across the immense chasm of time, what is the legacy of these first humans? It is a story of incredible resilience. They faced ice ages, supervolcanoes, and a world filled with predators, far stronger than they were, yet they endured. They didn't just survive, they innovated. They were the first toolmakers, the first artists, the first explorers. They possessed a boundless curiosity. From the savannas of Africa, they spread out, walking across continents, crossing seas, and populating every corner of the planet. Every time you use a tool, every time you sit with friends around a source of warmth, every time you share a meal with your family, you are echoing the behaviors of these ancient ancestors. They are the deep roots of our shared human family tree. Their struggles and triumphs are etched into our very DNA. They were the pioneers who took the first tentative steps on a journey that has led over millions of years to the complex, global civilization we know today. The story of the first humans is not just history. It is our story, and it is a powerful reminder that our greatest strength has always been our ingenuity. If you were fascinated by the story of our earliest ancestors, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let us know in the comments what part of their lives you find most amazing. Until next time, keep exploring.